Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the C.R. Lawrence SL234 spring latch. They say this is grade 2. I wouldn't be surprised if this was grade 1. This feels pretty robust. So this is basically, this is a 2 3/4 latch bolt for a 2 3/4 application, a 161 a 161 prep we would call it. That also has a 2 1/4 inch tall faceplate, along with an 1 1/8 wide faceplate. Now, nowhere on here does it measure 2 3/4. Cylindrical locks like that this is intended to be used with will lock into the chassis of the lock, and you'll get 2 3/4 if you add about 1 inch right to this area right here, and that's how you kind of will know that it's 2 3/4. You do it enough and you can look at it and say, yeah, it's obviously 2 3/4. Okay, so right to the end of the body plus about 1 inch is going to give you that 2 3/4. This is a very generic design. I wouldn't be surprised that this would work on lots of different locks. Anything a grade 2, maybe even a grade 1, but grade 2 cylindrical lock, this will likely work on. However, this is intended for C.R. Lawrence lever locks and not necessarily for others. And the problem that you'll get into, and it does happen when you're using brand A and brand B, brand A latch bolts and brand B locks, you know, if you try to put arrow onto a Schlage, well, it'll work. You can get it on, but sometimes what happens is when you rotate the lever or turn the knob and it pulls the retractor back, doesn't get the latch all the way in, leaves it hanging a little bit. And depending on your margin between the edge of the door and the strike or the strike jamb, that door may not open. And I've had people call me and say, that latch bolt doesn't get pulled all the way back. Okay, what's going on? We have Schlage locks. Okay, great. What's the problem with the latch bolts? Well, we changed them and we put, you know, something else on there. Okay, well, there's not a lot you can do. What happens? People will order latch bolts like these or other latch bolts to work on non-brand locks for savings. If you buy OEM latch bolts from any major manufacturer, they're really expensive, and they are for a reason. They're designed, engineered, tested, high quality, etc. So be mindful when you're mixing and matching that you can run into problems. Now, this is a labeled product. This has the hallmarks of being approved for use on fire-rated doors. It has the F symbol. That's a good thing to see if you're a fire door inspector. It has the UL label there as well. You'll absolutely have to have that. And, of course, don't go modifying the latch bolt to make that come back a little bit further, because that would certainly violate the integrity of the latch bolt. This one comes with a couple of screws to get you installed. The 2 3/8 version, interestingly, does not come with screws. So be mindful that you may or may not need screws. You may or may not need to come up with screws. This latch bolt included them, and is used for their C.R. Lawrence commercial grade lever locks. Information listed down below. Grade 2, non-handed and reversible. And this is obviously a spring latch. This would be used on a non-keyed function. Passage set, privacy set, this would work on as well. You wouldn't put it on anything keyed because it's spring latch. Every time you touch the latch bolt, you can make it go back. If you're going to try to Lloyd that or tamper with that, you will have no trouble doing that. Keyed functions would have a deadlocking tab back here that, when properly installed, is held retracted back, and then you can't push that down if you just use your imagination. So be mindful. Deadlocking tabs are for keyed function of locks. C.R. Lawrence dead latches and spring latches are made for 2 3/8 or 2 3/4 back sets. Both latches and strikes are designed to work with C.R. Lawrence lever lock sets, and that they're sold as each. Okay. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the not only all of the C.R. Lawrence products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog and all of their top-level category full product catalogs, of which there are several and many. C.R. Lawrence gets into a lot of things. I don't think a lot of people think of them for commercial hardware. I think of them first as shower door enclosure hardware. hinges, clamps, wipes, sweeps, handles, towel bars, but they get into a lot of other stuff. Architectural metals, Blumcraft, ladder poles. Think of a ladder pole that's L-shaped, that is egress compliant. You hit that ladder pole, that push bar with a vertical on it, and it retracts a latch bolt. They get into that as well. Of course, aluminum storefront they get into, and all of the products that go to support the installation of all that material. You're going to do some aluminum storefront. You're going to need some caulk. You can buy all your caulk from them as well. Any questions on the C.R. Lawrence SL234 2 3/4 spring latch or any other C.R. Lawrence product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.